But I'm still getting good growth and all that, so I will let this go. Hello, howdy, and welcome back to another plant update. I'm Catherine, and I'm the Aerogarden homesteader. This is the new batch of lettuce that I just put on recently. It is looking great. Here are the rest of them. I actually need to start feeding them this week. I think this is the first round of food that they will be getting. Some of them are a little smaller than others, but that's fine. I should probably try splitting them up and giving them more room, seeing if that helps. Here is the, really hard to get all of it in. This is the cabbage. And it is doing its cabbage thing. I love this. It is just so fun. Two of them seem to be doing pretty good in there, so I don't think I would do more than that. I would certainly do less if they grew better, but yeah, they're doing really well. It's just so cool. Okay, down here to the bunching onions and the leek. I think I just need to harvest that leek, honestly. I think I also might need to harvest that bunching onion. It has just totally crowded out the one that was with it, and it just sort of died back. This one, this other one, it's getting really big. The one beside it I have harvested from before. It has grown back, but I don't know if it's going to get crowded out too. And these little ones, they do seem like they're struggling, so I don't know what's going on with them. I think that maybe I should have left them in with something else for a little longer. But I just don't think they're getting quite enough light. So it's probably not a good idea to mix different stages of bunching onion. It's probably an all or nothing. So now we know. This is the last set of peppers I did. So I think this is the Joe Parker, and then I've got like a baby bell or a snacking pepper or something. And then, hard to get back here, but I've got, whoops, leaf in the way, a little cherry tomato going on. There's a whole bunch of them back here, actually. Trying to go through and keep tapping on, oh man, that leaf is still in the way. Tapping on some flowers to help them pollinate. But that is so cool. Okay, these are the, what are we calling these again? These are the bush beans. Oh my gosh, took me a while to figure that out. So they are putting out new flowers. I got a new flower here, putting out new growth. So it does look like they will keep going, so I will let them keep going. There are a few leaves, like this one that was getting in the way, that are starting to look a little ratty. I'll probably just come through and try to prune those off later. But I'm still getting good growth and all that, so I will let this go. These are the snow peas, which I've actually just been harvesting them as regular peas at this point because I keep letting them go too far. I think I'm going to be taking these apart because, I don't know if you can see this, but unfortunately, the strawberry plants we brought in from the nursery had spider mites, and so they just got infested. And I'd rather just take this down now. It's not really producing too much more, like the flowers are not really there anymore. It's putting out growth, it's just not really putting out any more flowers and fruit, or peas in this case. So I'm just going to probably just take this apart. So this is probably the last time you will see these. These are the strawberries that unfortunately probably caused the problem. So I'm going to have to make sure that this cilantro stays in quarantine. So I might end up just having to put these in pots so that they can just get ready and go outside as well. Okay, so I went through and I pulled out everything that seemed to be going to seed. So in this one, there was, I think there was one in the back corner that I ended up pulling out. I ended up cutting that one. But for the most part, I pulled out some of the other ones. It was just kind of looking ratty and going to seed. This one is starting to have some problems. I think it might be starting to go to seed as well. And same with this one, I'm not sure. These green, bushy, frilly salad bowl ones, they seem like they're doing really well. And I think this spinach might be on its last legs. Yeah, I think it's starting to go to seed as well. So I might have to pull that one as well. But I am starting to get to the point where I'm just going to start pulling things and tearing down the Aerogardens as stuff comes up. So this one kind of had the same thing. It was going to seed. It does look like it's trying to push out new growth. But I had this one was going to seed. These ones look like they're trying to go to seed. So these ones, the salad bowl ones, seem like they're doing really good, actually. So what I might do is, next time I do a big harvest, I'll probably try to harvest out some of these ones and get rid of them. Kind of like what I did there. I'll just snip them off if I have to. And that'll try to give these ones more space. Alright, I don't know that it's worth trying to move them at this point, but at least it'll try to give them a little more space and they'll get a bit more nutrient. The kale, boy, try to get back a little bit. Kale is probably not a good thing to grow in a sprout. I do notice that they are starting to, they're getting awful close to the light here. This one's actually kind of leaning off to the side. Turn that a little bit. But, I mean, they're doing well. So it's probably just have to stay on top of pruning them back a little bit. They're starting to encroach on this one. The lettuce is doing really well in a sprout. I'm kind of surprised. I wasn't sure it would, but yeah, no, I've been harvesting from these. Take a couple leaves here, a couple leaves there. Some of these leaves are just really big. It's really funny how that's working. And the one in the back, I have actually been harvesting a little bit from that. It seems like it's finally catching up. So this is the bronze romaine and the poor missing spinach. So that should give it a little bit of space. I probably should come through and try to prune off some of this bottom growth. You can see it's a little bit crunchy. It's also covered in pollen. But the romaine heads themselves are, I feel like they're starting to do their thing. So this is the bok choy. I took some of them out. I think I only had 4 in here, so I only took 1 out. This one I think needs to come out because it actually pushed out a flower and it's gone to seed. It's actually pushing out a lot of weird side growth too, probably because it's trying to go to seed. So this one will probably just get pulled out as well. That'll just leave me with 2, which I'll have to keep an eye on because they'll probably at some point go to seed as well. This one, this is more of the lettuce. I did take out some because they were going to seed. And obviously I had the spinach here. I finally took this spinach out. It was just going crazy and dropping pollen everywhere. I took the spinach out in the back that was also going to seed before it started dropping all its pollen. And then I took out the lettuce in the front that was also going to seed. So this one seems like it's not looking like it's going to seed yet, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it. This one I've been harvesting from nicely, although it does look kind of ratty around the edges. And then here's that other romaine that seems to be doing pretty good. So the mustard is doing well, although I did take out the one in the back because it was going to seed. This one in the front, well, it's not really in the front, but yeah, I think it's also going to seed. So it's putting out a stalk. Yeah, I think that one's going to seed, so I'm probably going to have to take that one out as well, which will be nice because then this bok choy will get a little more space so that it can probably also go to seed. I think some of these have really just run their course at this point. So it is what it is. Over here, I've got the other kale. It's doing really well, although I do have some leaves that are looking a little yellow on the bottom. I don't know, maybe I'm not feeding it enough. Let's see, I think I got some that are looking a little yellow on the top too. So, well, that is a bottom leaf. So, but they're doing well. The leaves are starting to change. So they did have a softness to them before. It was really hard to describe. They felt young and tender. Now I feel like they are starting to get a little like firmer and they're not as tender as they used to feel. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that does. I did start some seeds. I will be taking you guys along with me when I start seeds for the summer garden. So I'll probably be starting a new series in January, so keep an eye out for that. These are little strawberry starts that were in the pots that we brought in. Unfortunately, the pots were contaminated with spider mites. So some of the stuff that's upstairs will, I don't know, it might not make it. But this is some lavender and some chive. So I hope the chive will grow because I have not had very good success with chive. Back here was the parsley. So as you can see, the parsley is no more. I took the this Aerogarden in the front was the one that had the parsley in it. So took it apart, cleaned it all up, and I moved these to a new Aerogarden that I had also taken apart and cleaned all up. And I pruned these back. As you can see, I've got some brown ratty leaves back there. They were getting tall and spindly, so I pruned them back so that they could start pushing out some side growth and getting a little bushier, and I also split them up a little bit so they would have a bit more space. These are not really designed for 3. I feel like it's good for 2. It's good for 4. It doesn't really do well with 3. I don't know a good layout for 3. So, but anyways, this is the best I could come up with. And the cumin! Oh my goodness. So I have been coming through and tapping as best I can. Some of them are kind of like, oh my goodness, they are just way up here under the light. But this actually looks like it did a lot better in a harvest than it did in the sprout. I don't really seem to have a lot of flopping over. I mean, I got a little bit, but I've got lots of really nice, look at the size of some of these pods at the bottom. So hopefully I managed to do a lot of good tapping and getting them to pollinate really well. But yeah, no, this is awesome. So definitely if you're going to do cumin, do it in a harvest. And I've only got 3 pods going on in here, but I don't know if you can really tell. So this one's got 1 all by itself. But the one back there, look, I mean, it looks like it's got like 5 maybe? 6? So, and then the other one, it's hard to see from here, but it also looks like it's got quite a few growing from it. So you can do 1, or you can put multiple seeds and get a few. But if you're going to do 1, you could probably put 1 in each pod, like each well. If you're going to do multiples, you probably don't want to fill up every spot in the harvest. But yeah, no, it's doing really well. I'm really super happy with that. Okay, and down here are the leeks. They are still doing well. They are getting bigger. I do feel like I do need to come through and pull out some of these the lower ones that kind of just die back a little bit. But no, they're doing pretty well. They finally look like they're getting a little bit bigger. But I don't know why, but this one seems like it's a little slower than the ones with the bunching onion. So, but it is what it is. This is the celery. This was the smaller bunch of celery. It's doing pretty good. I've finally started coming through and doing a little bit of harvesting, and also taking off some of those smaller side ones to sort of help it grow a bit more. I kind of missed one back here, but this one back here, it's really big, but they're very spindly. And I don't know why, but on the other one, some of them feel hollow. This one kind of feels a little hollow. I'll show you what I mean. I've kind of started pruning back some of the leaves on this. I do still have some that are growing, but I have started to give up on pollinating them. I don't know how much longer I'm going to get out of this. I kind of wanted to get a couple more cucumbers and then take it apart, but I don't know. It's like a lot of the leaves are getting the powdery mildew. It's like kind of really taken over on a lot of the leaves. And it's still pushing out flowers. It's still pushing out new little, like, male and female flowers. So we'll just see. We'll just play that one by ear. This is the other celery. This is the one that had the bigger bunches in it. I have been harvesting from it, so obviously they don't look very much bigger anymore. But for some strange reason, one of them, this one back here, like they feel hollow. And when I cut into it, there's like hollow voids, and I don't know why it's doing that. I'm going to have to try to look that up. It's not all of them. So this one here, that's further in the plant, it's not. So this one's really squishy. This one's firm. But it's not, I don't feel like it's all of the plants. It's like some of them, yeah, you know, it is kind of all of them, but it's more on the outer ones than the inner ones, so I don't know what's going on with that. But it still looks good. It's still pushing out lots of good growth, but they're not as pleasant to eat because they're hollow. Oh boy. I might need to put the hood up on that one. Okay, well apparently I need to have another salad today. So this one I have not cut the main stem off yet. These ones I have, and they're just, oh my gosh, they're just growing crazy. So I got some more I can harvest there. I got some more back there I can harvest. I don't know, this back one, oops, leaf in the way. Back one does not look like it has put out any central growth yet. So we'll just keep waiting on it. But yeah, oh, I get to have broccoli today. Yay! Okay, the peppers. Still waiting for these ones to change color. They're still green. I should probably pick one and figure out if it's a spicy pepper or not. These ones are the little snacking peppers. Those ones, I'm sure they change yellow. I've planted these ones before. They were really good. They're a nice sweet pepper. They stay pretty small. That's about the size they get, and that's it. So here, let me put my hand behind it so you can kind of see. But yeah, it's a pretty small pepper. You can almost just put those in your salad whole. And it looks like the one back here, sorry about the leaves in the hand, but it's got a pepper on it. But I can't remember, that was the baby bell, I think. So I don't know if it means baby plant or baby pepper. We'll see. Tomatoes. Finally putting out tomatoes. This one is it's a Roma-like tomato. So yeah, I mean, it's looking good. I still don't know what this mystery one is. I did pick the ones that had the blossom and rot, or whatever it was. It looked like blossom and rot. So these ones are all looking pretty good. Sorry for the angle. So I got quite a few tomatoes coming up. I'm kind of excited about that. This is it's the mini jalapeno. It's not as bushy of a grower as the other pepper plants I just showed you. I don't know if you can tell, but it's definitely a lot more open. So there's more space. I have gone through and I did take off some of the big leaves, but I didn't feel like I had to take off like a huge amount like I did with that other one. And then this was the sad tomato. It's kind of still slightly sad. Looks like it needs another level of trellis, but I've got some leaves or some flowers coming on. There's some back here. So it's just a matter of coming through and kind of tapping them. I might need to prune out some of this bottom growth, but you know, that's not a today thing. But no, it's doing pretty good. So I might get some tomatoes out of that one soon. And that is the state of the grow update. This is about week 17. So we're definitely coming up on when things should be ripening. If you found this video useful, it'd be really nice if you would like and share so other people can also find this video. And if you have any suggestions for any of the problems I mentioned, please leave those below so I can look into it further. It does kind of bother me that things happen and I don't quite know what is going on, so if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can stay informed of when the next update comes, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.